All right, so over the weekend, I don't know if you saw this taking place, but this is something that, and honestly, it can go. We're good. We've seen it. We've seen enough, and that is the Winter Classic. Now, we briefly touched on the fact the players got off the bus in Boston wearing the old school Red Sox jerseys. That's neat. Whatever. But they played the game out at Fenway. Have either of you been to an outdoor hockey game like this?
I was at the Big Chill.
Okay.
Michigan State.
As a fan or as were you working?
No, as a fan. That was in high school, I think. Maybe just out of high school when that happened.
Okay. So you are there as a fan, and where were your seats?
Man, my buddy Matt I don't know how he got us these seats. We were literally 2 rows behind Chris Chelios. We were center ice, about 50. We had the best seats in the house. Like, the best seats for the angle of the crappiness of watching on a football field, watching a hockey game on a football field.
Okay, all right, so you had really good seats because usually if you're down low, you can't see anything.
Right.
And if you're up high, you're so far away, it looks like ants. It was a cool novelty when it first took place. Like, let's go outside and play an NHL game. Okay, that's kind of fun. Be just like on the pond. Okay, the Lake Tahoe game, really beautiful backdrop. That's fun, whatever. Look, it looks awful on TV. It looks awful when you're there. It's gimmicky. It's played out. It can stop. The Winter Classic, next year is going to be Seattle and Las Vegas. They're going to play in Seattle, which means they're going to host that thing at Lumen Field, the home of the Seahawks. It's the same. It's the same everywhere you go now. Terrible sight lines. Difficult to see, outdoors, lost its luster. Like, let's just be done with it. Why do we want to play this thing out? I've seen this happen not once but twice at the minor league level, and people always complain about the fact they can't see anything. You're basically there in the arena or in the stadium watching it on the video board. Well, yeah,
like
unless you have an upper deck seat, then you can kind of see, but still, it's tough to see.
And that they need to do it like. I don't make a stadium, some sort of like a miniature, just make a rink and then put stands around it outside because you can't see anything when you're there.
This isn't like the Field of Dreams game where
do it there,
right out in the middle of a cornfield, right? Pond hockey. It's a cool idea. It's neat. That's fun. Whatever. I'm done with it. Like, when it first happens, it's great. Working those outdoor games is awful, especially when it's really cold. Like, there's nothing there that draws me to say, oh, wow, this is fantastic. The Big Chill, okay. The events that took place there, right, because you're not just going to put the ice out there for one game. You're going to have all kinds of games, right? When you put it on a baseball field, if you're sitting, let's say, behind the netting, behind home plate, you can't see anything. There's no point in even buying a ticket. You're better off watching at home or going to the bar across the street. Like, the rink has to be so far away so it can actually fit. The whole thing is just overplayed. And I'm not trying to be the fun governor here, right? I'm not going to tell you what to like, what not to like. I'm just telling you my opinion on the thing. I think it's a waste.
Like, if they made it like, hey, the All-Star game every year will be our Winter Classic, great. It's already a novelty. Let's just
double the novelty.
Yeah, let's just drench it in novelty. Because it's
fondue,
right? Because it's already hey, it's for the fans, it's for the sight lines, it's more about an experience than it is the game. If they did it that way every year, I think that would work out better. Because then it's like you already have like All-Star Week, like so that way you can get the use out of the rink for the entire week for All-Star game.
You could.
I think that's if they want to keep it up. I think the way to keep that, I think the All-Star game is the best way to do it.
And they are going to keep on keeping this thing on as long as they sell.
Well, they
tickets.
did this. Remember, I don't know how many they do. Now, they had the Stadium Series there. It was like 6 or 7 games a year that were outdoors.
Yeah, that's just way, way, way too much. Way too much. Like that's just overkill in every sense of the word. Like you don't need to have multiple games. You don't need to have multiple locations. The novelty aspect of it, we've talked about it. Like it's good. We've seen it. It's been done. It's over with. Like there's no need to bring it back. Whatever. Like and this goes to a little bit of what Freddie was talking about yesterday about going to a game. Sports have turned into so much more than just the actual game, and whether that's more or not is debatable. I've never been a big fan of it. You know, I always went to games as a kid because those were my favorite teams, and you know, we went to see the win. I never once thought about going to customer service at a game because something was wrong. I never complained about not getting a free T-shirt or being on the Jumbotron. Like none of that mattered. The on-ice games, it doesn't matter. Intermission's a great time to go get a refill on your drink.
And same here. Like if I'm going to do anything with the kids, like that's in the stadium, like at Comerica, that's happening before the game.
Before.
Like there's an hour and a half you get before the game to get in there. Like I'm there to watch the game. And that's the frustrating part is if you go with like other families of like, it's like the fourth inning. It's like, oh, let's go do this. It's like, or we can watch Miguel Cabrera bat.
We're doing the thing.
Right.
We're here. We're here doing this. This is what we signed up to do. We bought tickets for this.
Right. If we wanted to go ride carousels, like we can wait till whatever carnival pops up in a church parking lot on
Boom.
the drive home.
There you go. And
Which
buy a
I
rug.
will also say no that I'm not going to.
Buy a rug out of a tent.
Yeah.
Eat a corn dog. There you go. Like
eat some elephant ears.
Boom, done. Like go to the game for the game. Like you know, when you're taking your kids, allow them to develop that love for the game, not constant distractions. We got to be up and moving and running around every 2 seconds. Sit down, enjoy your popcorn. This is what we came to see. You know, maybe your kid will really like it. Maybe your kid will hate it, and you won't have to go back.